Hi, everyone. Thank you so much to Ferality for having us today. This means a lot to the team, as Ferality, as you'll see in the film, has a really valuable voice in this documentary. This film portrays a friendship formed inside a virtual reality that resulted in an ultimately life-changing connection made in the real world. Thank you to our two main subjects, Hayu and Photographer. Thank you so much to my collaborator, Max Films VR, and additionally to our artists within Painted Clouds, and our producers, Bryn and Justin at Documentary Plus. I want to mention that the film was going to release today. However, we've decided to delay due to some really exciting news we'll be sharing very soon. The film will be released in June this month. Keep an eye out on our social media channels for updates there. We'll be engaging in a panel conversation about the making of the film after the screening, so please stay tuned for that. I hope you connect with these two kind and talented people and the community that brought them together. Over to you, Max.
Hello, I'm Max Films VR and the producer of this documentary. I want to say a big thank you to the community what helped out with this film, and it's been a genuine honor working along so many talented and extraordinary individuals. I also want to say that I truly believe this documentary captures what the furry community is all about and what we are and what we do. I hope you enjoy.
Thank you all so much for watching Reality of Hope. We cannot thank you enough for appearing and sharing this journey that all of the people on stage here absolutely shared. Please, if you would like to ask questions to either Joe Hunting, Hayu, Photographer, or Max Films, please direct your questions to the Reality of Hope screening Q&A Discord channel in our Ferality Discord. We have a lot of great questions. We're going to try to get through as many as we can, but we just want to give a great thank you to all the people here today sharing this lovely story with us, and I hope you're all having a great time. But yeah, we will start off the questions. Just to get this out of the way and make sure that people know and aware, the one in many ask, where will this doc be streaming, and are there plans for a physical release?
Ooh, good question. The film will be releasing this month in June. We will be announcing how and where very soon on our social media channels. You can find me at Joe A. Hunting, Max Films VR as well. We'll all be sharing the news, and also we have a film account as well on Blue Sky. So we'll be announcing it very soon. I'd love to share that now, but it'll be worth the wait. I can say that.
Awesome. Thank you so much. We're going to get to the rest of the questions. This one goes to Photographer. This comes from Jack Rabbit. Photographer, you said you surprised yourself how quickly you made the choice to donate. Just how fast did you make up your mind to do it?
I'll make it quick, but there's a whole story behind that. I was sitting. I had fallen asleep on my couch the night before, and I woke up and saw the thing on Twitter of Hayu saying, "Hey, it looks like my kidneys are failing, and I'm gonna have to likely start dialysis soon." And I'm still in my sleeping state. I just go and write a DM to him. I think it was on Telegram, and I'm just like, "Don't worry, I'll give you one of mine. You're good." And then I turned the phone off and went back to sleep. And
that's not uncommon. As it was mentioned to us, like a lot of donors, they just kind of know they want to do it, which is surprising. But like this is like a trend that they see.
Yeah, so it's something that I wanted to. Yeah, you're welcome. I'd thought about donating a kidney for like years at that point, and I just kind of said to myself, like, when the opportunity comes up, I'm going to jump on that. I'm going to do the thing. And I saw that, and it was like, oh, okay, there it is. That's the opportunity. Cool. Boop, boop, boop. Great. And so it was like, I think I had already decided a long time ago that I wanted to do that. So there you go.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I mean, like, I don't know if I'm willing to donate a kidney yet, but we'll see what happens. I guess I'll know if the situation comes up. All right. Next question comes from JackNet. Knowing some can have families or groups that might not be supportive of their interests, like myself, who's been getting into furry communities and having these distant friendships. Any advice for those trying to break out of a similar confinement?
Who wants to take that?
Health-wise confinement, or are we talking about communities in general?
I guess it's like in response to how you were both very distant from each other, but made the effort to be so connected with each other, even in such a long distance thing, to the point where you are donating a kidney to one another. What is the feeling towards
right?
how you broke through that?
There's something to be said about how special VR is specifically. We might not realize just how special it is compared to regular online talking, but we were told that online friends, donating to each other, that does happen. But this is the first time someone from another country has ever donated an organ to someone they had not yet met in person before. That's what we were told, and that's like ever. And so there's something just fundamentally different about VR and how we interact in it, and how we consider each other, and how it really is in person. And that was the one thing that was different about this case and why it's unprecedented. So VR as a space, and things are getting cheaper and more accessible. I know not everyone can stomach the motion of being in the headset, but in this case, VR specifically was what enabled this. And also general advice, if you're having trouble with meeting friends, and you seem to run into the same issues over and over, meeting the same kind of people that you don't vibe with, something might be going wrong in your method, and you may need to change your method of where you go and what you pursue in order to find different people. Otherwise, you will get the same results. That's just general advice as well.
Yeah.
Can I jump in on that one too? It also feels like that question is also like touching upon the willingness to celebrate the community that you feel belonging to and VR outside of this space. And that was something that was really important in terms of the representation of the film, that your story was an opportunity for us to really celebrate specifically the VR furry community through Furality and your community and the people around just the transplantation. And as you see in the film, that was celebrated by people outside of it. The nurses that were looking after you during dialysis wore the headsets, and they were like, let's try this. I want to give it a go. And they didn't judge, the VR furry community as others might do initially. It was just an immediate, oh, I'm so fascinated by this. And that was a response we really wanted to motivate in this film, was for people to really engage and be in awe of what this community is and how it could benefit in such a meaningful way. So yeah, I think you have to love who you are and own that.
Yeah, I actually want to point out, I saw people in the comments during the stream, people were saying that the nurses seemed really nice and whatnot. They were. Oh my gosh, the nurses were so wonderful. They were some of the best, most amazing people I've ever met. Like they go in every day, they do all this work, and they were just so friendly and fun, and they were really excited to try out the headsets and stuff. It was great. Yeah. Love the nurses.
Entirely by chance that they happened to line up. You arrived with the headset in hand that day, and they both happened to be there.
Yeah.
We packed the cameras down.
They're wonderful.
We immediately had to open all back up
Not
again.
scripted at all. It was really fun just walking in there.
Yeah, it was such a big part of the film too, and yeah, it's completely like it just happened. It just happened that way. It was great.
There you go. Awesome. Thank you so much. Bit of a lighter question from Curly. Pretty important, I'd say. What's the best way to clean tears out of a VR headset? Because I think we all need to know that. We need to know this right now.
So I saw a lot of crying emojis.
Use a microfiber cloth and just be very careful if you have a Quest Pro.
And no soap. Never use
No
soap in there.
Definitely.
I mean, maybe on
Right.
like the detachable stuff, but like,
Personally, I think dunking your whole headset into your bathtub is the best way to do it, but that's just me. Just
While it's plugged
don't do
in.
that. Actually,
No.
please
Just
don't actually
do it
do
when
that.
it's on. Yeah.
All right. So this is a question for Hayu and a question for photographer in order. So these both come from Queso Coyote. For Hayu, when you were diagnosed with kidney failure, did both your kidneys suffer failure? And then for photographer, was it by chance that your kidney was donated to Hayu or compatible with them, or is there a way to make them compatible?
So
It's a great
with
question.
the diagnosis, yeah, it was 2018. I was told there was something wrong, and I was told, at the current rate, it would take 40 years or so, 30 years for it to become a problem. But things kind of went off a cliff in 2022 without me realizing we caught it at the end of the year. And it was both kidneys equally, something about my body causing some kind of autoimmune inflammation, tubulointerstitial nephritis, if anyone's curious. But we do not know the cause, and it is likely some illness that I got as a kid, very, very young age, that did some damage. And past a certain point, the kidneys, if you're very low, the kidneys will start to damage themselves. Kidneys usually can heal all the way back up. It's a very slow process, and past a certain amount of damage, they actually start to hurt themselves more than they can heal themselves. So that was a thing that happened. And that's how it ended up happening for both at the same time.
Yeah. As for the compatibility stuff, when we started all this, we had no idea if we would be compatible with each other. There are two types of compatibility. There's blood compatibility and tissue compatibility. Interestingly, he and I are opposite blood types in the worst way possible. But it worked out anyway because it turns out the blood compatibility is not as important as the tissue matching. It used to be, but there's new medications and stuff, and they're able to get past that, which is wild to me. But we had no idea. I was entirely prepared to do what's it called? A kidney swaps, or
like a chain, like exchange isn't the right word, but yeah, it's where you sort of pledge the kidney to the next person, and everyone ends up in a circle where it all kind of like each gives the kidney to the next, and all the compatibilities work out.
So I was 100% ready to do that, but just we got very, very lucky. Not only was I a valid donor, which is a big part of it, you have to be in like perfect health to be considered valid, because they don't want to do that to someone who is having health issues themselves. So that worked out, and then the tissue matching worked out. We got very, very lucky, and it was actually worth mentioning right after we got the tissue matching stuff. If you saw in the film, there was like a YouTube video there. I was doing a video documentation thing, just talking about this, because I didn't know it would turn into this documentary. But no, it was right after that happened. I went and talked to Max here. So we spoke to Max. We talked to him a whole bunch about what was going on and everything, and he helped me make one of those videos. I think it was update number 5 that he filmed. If I could have the number wrong. Yeah. So he helped me film that because I had a laptop out in Sweden. It wasn't running very well. I needed someone else to do it. And it was because of that Max looked at that and went, wow, this is a cool story. This is worth telling. So that's kind of when he went to Joe, and that was kind of how all this happened. It all just kind of worked out. But yeah, that's
well, we're
how that came
tremendously
together.
lucky to have like the best subjects to cover. Like, you guys were just amazing on camera and dealt with us poking into your life in a very intimate way, and you coped like champs.
Actually,
really, really thank you.
Yeah, it's something worth pointing out. The fact that we had all of the people, like with mostly you two, just like hovering around us with cameras and stuff through the whole process was awesome because it gave us something to think about and something else to do while we were sitting there just like waiting. And it's like, okay, the operation is in 2 weeks.
It's actually a good branching question to have because Jade Shadow asks to Joe and Max, how was the experience of traveling with the two and recording all the steps in this process that these two wonderful people went through?
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
You want to take the first bit of that, Joe?
Sure, I can. I think when you're making a film about something that is quite high risk, or it's some, a medical situation, it's important to be a friend before a director and a camera person. And so it was really important to me that Hayu and both of you just felt really supported innately through what you were going through, and whatever was going to happen, nothing mattered in the film. It was just all about capturing the moment and not guiding anything specific and not putting any pressure on you because you already had enough going on. In terms of, so I just want to say that first of all, in terms of like the travel and the logistics of filming, Max, as photographer said, Max came to me with the concept, and it was immediately like, how could you say no to collaborating on a film with this story? And so within 3 months of meeting and meeting you both, we were flying to Sweden to introduce each other in person and capture those early moments of being on dialysis, and then photographer flying out. And so it was a very quick process, but we all connect mutually in the value of VR and got on the same page in terms of what we wanted the film to be very quickly. And so I think from that point, it was a really easy process, and it was just about being patient and what will happen. And we used, in terms of equipment, we used kind of equipment that Max and I both had as a filmmaker and videographer. Like we had equipment with us already in terms of the in-person production. So we worked with what we had, and I'm obviously very grateful to you, Max, for the production itself. And then we have an amazing post-production team within Painted Clouds who were responsible for doing the match cut shot. And they were informed as we were filming the documentary and capturing the scenes in the dialysis room. We were passing it to our team at Painted Clouds, Rob, Tia, Morgan, to recreate that space. So that's kind of a story as well. Long answer. Over to you, Max.
It was incredibly important in the early stages because we were friends to begin with, you, me, and Otter. And just having that level of trust in the early stages of just interviewing you guys and kind of figuring out if you're right for the camera was incredibly important when I pitched this to Joe. And then almost as soon as we brought Joe on board, like VR filming like completely ramped up completely, and we were basically having like weekly interviews to kind of get your headspace. And basically we would just hit our stride in real life. Not much change, but bulky cameras. It was incredibly difficult going through this really kind of unsure time. Like the day of the operation, I was a wreck. Like seeing you guys go in there and like I had no power to kind of have anything to help you guys was really difficult.
It's something worth talking about is that like you guys came in on this not talking about something that happened in the past, but you actually joined us on the journey.
I
think that's a huge part of,
and we had to be prepared for that. I had to be prepared for that. But
it was very difficult for you.
Yeah.
Worked out good. He's working well.
You were both.
He's doing his job.
Yeah, super kidney, as they said. You both were lovely, by the way. We couldn't have asked for better people to document this. Thank you so much for representing it so well and being just wonderful people.
100%.
That means so much. Thank you. Thank you too.
Yeah, and I mean, even beyond doing the filming, like these guys were with us the whole way through, like visiting us in the hospital every day. Well, Joe had like random meetings and stuff he had to go to, but whenever he could, and then Max was there every single day.
Dry, brother.
This next question, actually, I'm sure those meetings were important because this is a question I'm actually curious about myself. This comes from Randfish. How was the story even picked up by Documentary Plus, and how was the filming funded?
Again, so the film was.
Go on. No, yeah, you can
Again,
talk
in
about
regards to
funding,
funding, again, me and Joe mainly just paid for the most of the equipment ourselves and our flights. We really did this on a really shoestring budget, and again, most of it was an incredibly kind of cheap film to make, all things considered.
Yeah, we self-funded the project essentially. It was financed by myself and Max, but we were able to just use what we had exactly. In regards to Documentary Plus and getting distribution and film festivals, we were incredibly fortunate to get selected for Sundance Film Festival, which was in January of this year for the premiere of the film, and that was the enabler for us to enter distribution meetings and really pitch the film and get a wider audience in terms of kind of the industry awareness. And Documentary Plus were so excited about the film and wanted to celebrate it in the same ways that we wanted to share it with the world. And so they picked up the rights to distribute it in around Sundance timing. And we'll be sharing more about what that looks like in a few weeks' time in terms of how we're going to put the film out and you know, how it will be viewed with Documentary Plus's help. So yes, it was really thanks to Sundance for that, and big thanks to Documentary Plus, of course.
Yeah. We have two more questions. We have time for two more questions, so hopefully we'll get through these quickly. So one more question for you, Joe and Max. How do you keep finding these stories in VR? How do you? This is from Snow specifically. They just want to know how you keep finding these stories.
They're here. Again, VR is an amazing place, but also the people in it are the true attractors to this platform. And if you'll just keep an eye open, you could find all types of stories. And there's so many stories yet to be told. I think you do agree with me, Joe, that this place is just so much more could be told about what could be done here. Not only artistically, but just like how it combines humanity into a smaller place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always said that VR is a vessel for story. Like, it doesn't even have to be about the technology. It can be about humanity or something else. VR can just be used as a production space almost. And well, for us, it was very helpful because we were filming in a hybrid way in VR and real life. It's a difficult question to answer. How do you always find these stories? Obviously, this story, I discovered it through Max. And so it was very much handed to me almost. But I know, Max, you discovered it through being a participant in the VR community and knowing photographer and hire you. And so I think the best answer I can give is to be a participant in the space that you're interested in. Because if you're immersed in it and engaged in it, you'll discover stories naturally. So be a participant in what you're making.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's an amazing answer. We have one more question that I can get to. This is specifically for you, Hayu. It's the most important question that has been asked like tens of times in this. How's the kidney up to right now? How's it doing?
The kidney is doing great. We've been reading between 70 and 80% function at times, which is like, I reached a point where if a doctor who didn't know where to look at my blood results, it would look average, and you have as well. And I think you're just you'll get into like I mean, he's doing better than me, but you're doing above average, I think, as well for someone your age.
Yeah,
again,
it's pretty wild. They told us that these were some of the strongest kidneys they've seen like in this process. So I don't know. Eat a lot of New York pizza. That's what does it.
Yes,
That's my professional
so
advice.
No.
Also, do you want to say about the driving license thing before we have to go?
Oh, that's a great point. Yes. Okay. This applies mostly to the people that live in the United States. Not all states, but a lot of them. If you are signed up as an organ donor, you get that little heart on your driver's license. A lot of times there's a little spot on the back of the card that you have to sign. And if you don't sign that part of the back of the card, you are not an organ donor. You have to sign it. And for some reason, the DMV doesn't tell you this. So please check your driver's license. If you think that you're an organ donor, you might actually not be until you sign that. So do that. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, good.
No worries.
Good catch.
And I genuinely hope this story inspires and just future organ donors to just be as incredible as these two amazing beings.
Yes.
Aw.
Awesome. We cannot thank you all enough for making the time out. Please, if there's any parting words, let it be known. And that's about time.
I want to thank
you so
everyone for watching and being here. And I'm just so happy to be part of Ferality and about this community and this fandom and VR. You're all wonderful people. Oh, my medicine alarm is going off the immunosuppressants because it's 8 p.m. But I want to shout out Max Kitsune for machining the little super kidney medallion that I designed while in the hospital as well and sending that out so quickly.
Yeah.
Medicine, 1 sec.
Also, if you see me around the con, I have a little super duper sponsor on my thing. I wrote it myself. It's not official, but I just wanted to point it out because I think it's funny.
Yeah. Thank you so much to everyone who contributed to this documentary. We're so happy to have made it with everyone who's a part of it. It's been an absolute honor and joy. So thank you.
Thank you guys.
Ferality.
Thank you, Demmy.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Enjoy
Of
the
course,
con.
thank you so much. Please enjoy the rest of Ferality Sama. Thank you all so much.